Bok, let me just bring in political scientist and professor de La Salle University, Dr. Julio Julaiti Hanqui, who's gone viral. It's not often that we have political scientists who go viral, but not for the right reasons. Professor, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. Magandang hapon. Good afternoon, Ami, Patrick, Ed, and my good friend, Ronald. Magandang hapon.
May deepfake video.
Mukhang nabudol kayo ng survey.
Oo nga eh. Oo, nakakagulat, nakakagalit, at nakakakilabot. Kasi usually, no, yung mga magigiting nating kasama, itong mga journalists sa harap ang nabibiktima sa ganito, I think first time na experience ko na yung analyst mismo nadamay na deepfake din.
Right. Do we have the video?
Baka we have the video ito ba, Professor, ang magiging future natin, halimbawa sa parating na eleksyon?
Precisely, no?
Deepfake. No.
Yes. I think we've been talking about this, Ronald, no, in the past few months. No, in fact, we just held yung grupo namin, yung Project Participate, which is a consortium of Ateneo School of Government and La Salle Institute of Governance. We just actually held a forum on AI and elections, no, and kami ang nag-organize noon, and not knowing na ako mismo madi-deepfake, no. Okay. So it was really unnerving. To see a version of myself, it's my voice, it's my face. Tapos,
we're showing it right now. We're showing
yun yung sinabi ko, no?
Professor Hanqui, first a little backgrounder for our people watching us. Okay, this deepfake involves a supposed video labeled with from ABS-CBN, no, TV Patrol, about a survey that shows Senator Robin Padilla at top of the survey for the 2028 presidential elections.
Yes.
So yun,
an alleged
resource
survey,
nito.
Patrick, no, kasi even Pulse Asia, Ronnie Holmes denied having done that survey. So pati yung survey is in itself false.
Ina-alaska ko nga, Prof, si Ronnie Holmes noong isang araw. Sabi ko, naniniwala ako na yung survey na yun ay Pulse Asia. Sabi ko kay Ronnie Holmes, ina-alaska ko siya.
Hindi, ang pinagtataka ko nga, kasi bakit naman sa lahat ng analyst, ako yung na-deepfake, hindi naman ako kasing gandang lalaki nitong si Ronald Llamas.
Mas credible ka sa akin kaya ikaw ginamit. No, ako incredible lang, ikaw credible lang.
Anyways, to look at the other side of this is actually an interesting case study of it's going to be a chilling preview of what to expect once the election season begins, no? At talagang sabi namin doon sa mga kausap ko na we're just an election away from an AI-driven political cycle, no? And ito na nga, no, nagsimula na, and I think it's not the first time. There have been other newscasters and anchors who have been victimized by this, no? But this is not new, no? Kasi sa ibang bansa naman nakita na natin ito, no, sa Russia, sa Ukraine, even sa US and sa Europe, no? So but this time mukhang dito sa Southeast Asia, sa Asian region, mukhang matindi na itong paggamit ng AI in this manner.
Well, Prof, you're in good company. Si Angelina Jolie may ganyan din
Oh, yes. Yes.
Professor, may mga initiative ba sa academe para by way of countering these deepfakes? Saka for parang voter education na rin with the upcoming elections.
Yes, it's a good thing that you've mentioned it. There are several civil society organizations and academic institutions are already doing the groundwork to have a massive AI education or AI information campaign, no? Going to many sectors. No? Ang isang ring initiative dyan, we have this securing digital spaces and election na binubuo itong Project Participate, which is a consortium nga ng Ateneo School of Government, ng La Salle Institute of Governance at ibang mga civil society organizations. So we really intend to launch a massive AI education campaign, not only in terms of the political space, but also the cybersecurity aspect of it. So, yun nga, the irony of it all, na pati nga ako na victim itong deepfake nito. Ito according, yes.
Prof, meron ba kayong meron ba nabubuo na quick reaction team, QRT? Dahil dadami ito, kailangan quick yung reaction Yung Meta kasi, yung Meta may ganun may QRT, quick reaction team. At ikalawa, ano yung mga legal possibilities na isampa dito sa mga gumagawa nito? Dahil parang limited yung ating batas
Oo. Yan. Actually, yan yung mga masasalimuot na policy questions na kailangan din pag-aralan, hindi lamang ng mga academics, kundi ng lahat, no? Kasi may mga may mga human rights implication, no? Katulad nung proposal ni COMELEC Chair George Garcia na ipagbawal ang paggamit sa AI. Totally. But as you all know, AI is a tool, no? And just like any tool, it can be used for constructive and destructive purposes, no? So pwedeng gamitin kasi kami dito sa akademya, sinasabi namin sa estudyante, nandyan yan, tool yan. Kasi in the past, ganun din ang sinabi sa internet, ganun din ang sinabi sa Google, ganun din sinabi sa Wikipedia, masama yan. Pero kung i-harness mo yan in the proper way, it can be very, very useful. No? It can really be productive. Kaso lang nga, maraming tao na may mga political and personal interest na ginagamit nila yan for their own purposes. No? Kaya dyan papasok ngayon yung vigilance na sinasabi nga ni Ronald. Isa dyan nga yung rapid response or quick reaction team. Kasi ayon sa mga pag-aaral, and there's actually an entire body of knowledge known as MDM, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, na tinatalakay itong issue nito. And one of the lessons from past misinformation and disinformation, hindi ganun ka-effective ang fact-checking. Kasi yung mga naniniwala sa false and fake news, para sa kanila, paniwalang-paniwala sila doon dahil parang na-discover nila yun. Parang isang reliyon yun na na-discover nila online. Na pag sinabi mo na mali sila, lalo na elitista ka pang urge mag-English, tas ko-correct mo pa yung mga English nila, imbes na mapaniwala mo sila na mali sila, lalo silang kakapit. So para ka nagbubuhos ng gasolina sa apoy, no? So yung pagsasabi mo palagi na mali ka, hindi tama yan, mas lalo silang naniniwala dun sa fake news. So ano ang solusyon? Yeah. Hindi pwedeng regulation kasi ang regulation naman may danger na gamitin din ng nasa poder, di ba? Nung nasa may kapangyarihan para ipitin naman yung ibang mga sektor sa lipunan. So ano ang Kasi meron yang centripetal at centrifugal, no? Sorry, medyo technical, no?
Paano nga ba movement yan? Physics. No? Physics.
Di ba? Okay. Physics yan, no? This is the physics of information, di ba? Yung centrifugal, papasok inward. Yan yung nabubuong mga online bubbles. Kasi lalong-lalo na nung pandemic, palagi na lang tayo sa online. Tapos yung the way that our social media feed, the algorithm is designed, kung ano lang yung gusto natin, yun ang finifeed sa atin. So nabubuo yung bubble. So yan yung isang malaking bagay kung bakit maraming misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation. Ano ang solusyon? Centripetal, palabas. No? It's about time that we start meeting each other again face-to-face and start listening to each other again. No? So ang isang solusyon dito sa ganito, mapa-AI, kasi dati fake news lang. Lalo ngayon, with the technology of AI, mas lalong titindi, magiging mas viral and mas hyperactive itong paglaganap ng fake news. Ang solusyon dito ay tapatan na natin. No? Tapatan natin. Sabi ni Ronald, quick reaction. Kailangan tapatan mo kagad at dapat ipakalat mo. Katulad kanina, nung nalaman namin na may ganyan, pinakalat namin kagad na may disclaimer para hindi na ito mas lalong kumapit.
Okay. Okay. Prof, sorry. We're out of
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
Pinapalis na kami ng producer namin.
Salamat, Prof.
Squatted na kami.
Thank you, Ronald.
Thank you, Professor.
Rami,
Isang mong libro dyan sa likod, pahiram.
Oo, marami yan. Sige.
Thank you, Prof. Professor July T. Hankey of De La
Thank you.
Salle University. Thank you, sir.